Alright, like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you're notified anytime I drop any new content. Alright, so today in the news on November 17th, 2021, Memphis rapper Young Dolph was shot and killed at the age of 36. Young Dolph was one of those artists that really got it out the mud. Like, Young Dolph been dropping tapes since 2008. Shit, probably even earlier than that. And he's one of those artists that you just didn't see just shoot all the way up to the top extremely fast. Like, he had a cult fan base, a real following, dropped fire ass music. But today we ain't really talking about his music as much. Okay, off rip, looking at his age, he was shot and killed at the age of 36. There's your 3 and your 6. He was killed in his hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. And I swear, it's something about rappers getting killed in their hometown. Whether it be XXXTentacion, Nipsey Hussle, Young Greatness, Mo3, just to name a few. It's something about this pattern that should just have a bunch of red flags around it. Now, as I was reading this article, off rip, the quote by Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland on Twitter, I found something interesting. He says the tragic shooting death of the 36-year-old serves as another reminder of the pain that violent crime brings with it. So off rip, they're already pushing the narrative that it's just violence and crime. And I understand Memphis is a very dangerous city. But with all these rappers, it's always the same thing. Like, it's always gang related or crime or something. Always. Really? Now, what I found interesting about that quote was the tragic shooting death in gematria equals 115, just like Young Dolph's full name, Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., which also equals 115, just like Lucifer equals 115. And I already mentioned, you already know how they like to cover up rappers' deaths as a shooting, it's violence, it's gang related, so on and so forth. It helps go with their rap personas. Like, say you were portrayed to be a street nigga and you end up getting shot and killed. The average person isn't gonna think or look too much deeper into it. It's like, oh, he just got shot and killed because he was on some street shit, without really realizing the pattern of this shit going on over and over and over. This pattern also applies to close friends and relatives of these rappers too. When you look at the timing of whenever they die, get killed, get sick, always be after an album release, right before, say, a movie. Something big always happens before or after it. Pay attention to that. And the date numerology for the day that Dolph was killed was 33. 33 is also masonry in gematria. And you know how them Freemasons love doing shit by them numbers. I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but November is a big sacrifice month. You remember last year was King Von and Mo3. This is the big sacrifice this year is Young Dolph, as far as rappers go. I mean, hell, even when you add up the date, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 7 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 equals 15. 1 plus 5 equals 6. There's another 6. Now, a little bit more onto the story. Memphis PD didn't comment, but said in a statement that officers are on the scene of a shooting at 2370 Airways. Looking right there at this address, 2 plus 3 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. There's another 3. Like I said, they do this shit by the numbers. Pay attention. But they said they found one male victim, which was Young Dolph, was located and pronounced dead. The shooting occurred at Makeda's Homemade Butter Cookies, which equals 110 in gematria. Just like the tragic shooting death equals 110 in gematria. Like, you gotta start connecting the dots. I've noticed this trend with artists that are supposedly independent that are signed / partnered with Empire that end up dead. Cause Empire has a lot of artists. But I've noticed this. XXXTentacion had a deal with Capital and Empire. What happened to him? Young Dolph had a partnership with Paper Route and Empire. What happened to him? King Von was signed to OTF and had an Empire deal. What happened to him? Doe B was signed to T.I. Had an Empire deal. What happened to him? Oh, and one more. Mo3 signed to Boosie and had an Empire deal. What happened to him? So just because somebody say they with Empire, don't mean they ain't down with them people or playing that game. Just look at that list of artists they have. They have some big name artists on that list. Can you say insurance policy? I'm gonna say that again because I might have went over some people's heads. Can you say insurance policy? And that applies to any major record label. Now also notice the star ring. This is another indicator that an artist is down with them peoples. Notice how a lot of the artists that wear this star ring are either dead or replaced. Shout out Dwayne McClain and Noah's Rant. They both have videos on it. Check them out. Tupac has a star ring. Pop Smoke has a star ring. Mo3 has a star ring. King Von has a star ring. Offset, who was involved in that car crash and came back supposedly 111 years old or whatever it was. Kodak Black has a star ring. We know about him. NBA Youngboy, we know about whichever one that one is, had a star ring. And Soulja Boy has a star ring. And I got a video on him already being replaced. Now, could the reason be why Dolph was sacrificed, allegedly, was that he owned his masters? Could be. Like I said before, insurance policy. That's one of the number one things. And I already mentioned before, they don't like when artists own their masters. Bad shit always happens when artists get their masters. Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, name 3. Could it be that he didn't want to give up his cousin Key Glock? Could be. Could be. I'm just tossing some things out there to ponder. But he's one of the few artists that came off like a real solid dude, like a lot more genuine than most of these artists. Keyword came off as. But a little bit more on Key Glock. I found it interesting that his most recent tape that dropped earlier this month in November was titled Yellow Tape 2. Say it again, Yellow Tape 2, like a crime scene. What just happened to Dolph? Also, another big hit from Key Glock and Dolph was the song Case Closed. Think about that name. And also peep the lyrics from Young Dolph's song Talking to My Scale. I think it has a music video. Check that out. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's the one where Dolph is in hell and there's fire and shit. Pay attention to the lyrics I put on the screen. Now think about what happened to him and then think about the title of that album, Paper Route Illuminati. It don't get more blatant than that. I already mentioned this in my Young Dolph breakdown. And now on to the last section. I'm gonna break down gematria. Young Dolph was shot and killed in Memphis. Memphis equals 83, 38, and 34 in gematria, just like murder. 83, 38, and 34. There might be a reason why there's a lot of murder in Memphis. Might go deeper than just some gang shit. Young Dolph equals 34. Memphis equals 34. Tennessee equals 34. The numbers line up in so many different areas on this. It's not even funny. Now, could it have been street beef? Like I said before, I don't think it is. I believe the sacrifices weighed to numbers all around this. And I can't stress this enough. You have to remember, they do these sacrifices by the numbers. They do these scores in football, basketball, baseball, etc. by the numbers. These news stories, when they say how many people are involved in something, by the numbers. So this has been the Young Dolph sacrifice video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Thank you for watching. We are out.